Hi everyone. Sorry, I just had to get the calendar off there so I could see what I'm doing. Can you hear me okay? Trying out the mic. I'll let everybody come in and then I'll ask you guys again. It was a little early. Hello, Charlotte. Hello, Kim. Can you hear me okay? Got a mic for Christmas. Okay, good. Hopefully the battery holds out. I'm getting going working on these blocks. I did a video about it a while ago about making this quilt, but I wanted to try a block out and kind of get my head around it because I have to show my sister how to do FPP. She's a very good seamstress and she's made dance costumes and quilts and she knows exactly what she's doing, but she's never done that technique before, so I'm sure she'll be fine. We just have to go over it. Hi Gisela, hi Laura. And I'm also going through and washing all the fabric and starching it, but I'm only partway through. And I did all of the 5 blues for the sapphire blocks because I have to make 2 of them. So I thought, well, I'll just start one and see how it goes. And I made a little swatch chart. The book gives you this page and you can photocopy as many as you want. So I put a little snippet of selvage on it so I know which one's which and the name of the cone of fabric and stuff. Otherwise, I will never be organized enough to do this. So it's good the book lays this out. Hi, Allison. Hi, Deb. Excuse me. I'm going to show you one of the pattern pieces. I'm not diving into this too much because if you guys want to get this, oh my goodness, sorry, I have to sneeze. If you guys want to make blocks like this, you're going to have to buy the book. So I'm not diving into this too much because I don't want to give things away, but that is what a pattern piece looks like. That's one part. So most of the blocks have like part A, part B, part C, part D, which you make up those pieces and then assemble that together. And on each of the blocks, the instructions give you the layout, obviously. And then they show you, okay, so this piece to this piece, and then this piece to this piece, and then put them together, and then press the seams this way. And then it kind of works out in the end like a big 4-patch. No, Laura, I have not. I can't remember. I bought the book 2001, maybe. It's called Gemology. I'll give you a closer look. I think I might have bought it on Amazon. I cannot honestly remember though. I'm sorry. And that is the author. Can you see it? Andrea Tsang Jackson. Sorry, it was ages ago. I did a video at the time of, hey, I got this cool book. Everybody have a look at it. I might have put the link in that video. Maybe. I just don't remember because if I thought of it, I would have done it. Hey, I got this book here, blah blah blah, right? But I cannot remember. I'm sorry. Too long ago. Okay, so I'm going to be up and down here for a bit. I'll try to kind of scoot the laptop around, give you guys the long view. I kind of maybe found a way to do a second camera with Streamlabs. I looked it up, and there's some website you get on your phone, and then you copy the URL into a browser source in Streamlabs, so we'll see. But I'm about to get a new phone. So I thought, well, let's try the mic for now, and then we'll see about the phone for next time, maybe. What I might have to wind up doing is an impromptu live at some point, like, hey, can you guys see me all good, and blah, blah, blah. We'll see. So, this is standard foundation paper piecing, just usual. These are easy. They're little, not like those weird big pieces on the wolf. I'm used to doing the wolf. This is a piece of cake after that. So, piece 1. See where, I don't know if you can see where it says 1 ml. That's piece 1, and it means the medium light fabric. So that's this one, Blue Jay. That's medium light. That's how the patterns work. And the background we're using, let me see if I can show you, is it's this little black print. It really does look black until you look closely, but we didn't want black as the background. So this is all the background. Now that I'm way over here, can you still hear me okay? Please say so in the comments. That was the kind of the idea for asking for a mic. So when I'm bobbing up and down, I'm not too faint and I got to shout at you. And I am not entirely sure about that whole phone as a camera idea either, because the video I watched, a lot of people in the comments said, but you can't go back and forth between two camera views. So I don't know that that's tremendously helpful. So I don't know. We'll see. That could be an experiment. Okay. So the next one I have to use is a piece of dark. We'll cut that off. I cut myself about 5-inch long strips. Oh, there we go. Of each of the fabrics, just so I don't have to have a great big piece. And my sister and I bought more than we needed, just to make sure we don't have mess ups and potential as backings. I don't know. We haven't decided that part yet, what we're going to put on the back. First things first. We have enough to do whatever we want on the back. It's just a matter of deciding how. Okay, there. That should do that. Okay. Okay. Oh, good. Thank you, Kim. Yes, still hear me fine. All right, good. Oh, thank you, Deb. Deb says she found the book on Amazon, but I can't post links. No, only mail. Hang on one sec. Let me just drop this down for a sec so I can, or make it smaller. See what the heck I'm doing. Maybe I can find it and put the link in. One sec. Can you guys bear with me for a minute while I go hunting around? Not going to let me go down. Okay, downsize. Okay. I'm downsized totally. Let's hope this comes back good. Okay. Hold on. I gotta go to Amazon.com, not CA. Okay, let me see here. Dismiss. I'm not changing the address. I'm looking something up. Come on. Gemology quilt book. Here we go. What does that tell me? Aha. Okay. Patchwork lab. Here we go. Got it. Copy. Let's see. I think I have to go to streamlabs.com to do the chat. So again, one sec. And I don't have moderators either, so hold on. Be nice if I could do chat with the widget from my desktop, but it won't let me do that. If this doesn't work, I'll put the link in the description box later after this goes on YouTube, okay? You'll get it somehow, I promise. Yeah, no, it's not gonna, no. Okay, it's not gonna let me log in. All right, never mind. Sorry, girls. Okay. Hi, Deb. Yeah, I'll put the link in the description box. Not to worry. Let's carry on. Okay, so what I was doing up there was getting another piece of the darker fabric. So I have two. I don't know if I'll show you. So the one I put down first on piece 1 is medium light. And then piece 2 is the darkest one. It's called Nightfall if you want to pay attention to the Kona colors. So now I have to sew on the line between 1 and 2. You guys see that? Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Allison. Sorry about that. And yes, this piece of the dark fabric is a honking big piece. And I don't need that much. But I also want it to be able to flip up all the way and totally cover this piece of paper. Because if it doesn't, I won't have my seam allowance and everything, and I'll be very angry and have to redo it. I've learned this over the years of making foundation paper piecings. Do not skimp on your fabric. Give yourself a honkin' big piece. Yes, it wastes. I'm sorry, there's no way around it. But if you try to chintz yourself and use as much fabric as possible and make this tiny little just perfect piece, don't. Trust me. You will bitterly regret it. I've got a couple different sizes of those add a quarter rulers. Hi, Andrea. Yes, sorry, Joe, more scraps. But most of them I keep, see, I've cut off little bits and I have little bits here, sitting here, because sometimes the little piece I need is perfect for one of these. So I don't toss them. It's just, I only chuck out the little bitty ones. And sometimes I can't use them, and then there'll be one of my little leader ender things. So I have to go up and trim this. Hang on one sec. So I've got, I don't even know what size these are. I got this little one. Hang on, there we are. See, it's got the edge. This is 6 inches. And this one is, what is it, 12? Yes, this one's 12. So after I do my stitching line, there you go. Seam, look at that. Ooh, a seam, wow. And I'm going to go and I'm going to fold this one back that I just did so that I have it like that. And I'm going to trim off all this little bit of flap. So it's only 1/4 inches. It's only 1/4 inch and not extra. And then I'll press it open so it goes over the paper. All of you who have done paper piecing before know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, see? 1/4 inch. Perfect. Good morning, Joyce. No dog hair. Okay, I open up the seam all the way, and I give it a little finger press along the seam, lightly, and across the rest of the piece of fabric, just so it's not all bumpy. Then I press it. Okay. So there we go. Once the piece of paper is folded back, there's more than sufficient fabric all the way around. So now I have to go and do this little piece down here with medium dark and carry on. You guys get the idea. It's not that hard. So medium dark is marine, and that's that one there. So one of those little pieces I've already cut of that fabric will probably do nicely. I'll look at that momentarily. I'm going to turn the laptop just a bit to show you something on the wall. In the book, it says, just like the wolf quilt actually, to line everything up and have it, because in the book there's assembly diagrams, right? This piece here, this piece here, this piece here. Okay. The book tells you to have the patterns facing up so you can see them, just like the wolf quilt does. Then you know the orientation and everything. But so you guys could see what 1/4 of this block is going to look like. By the way, I'm doing the oval block. So I'm going to turn this around, and I've pinned up to the design board with the fabric showing, just so you guys can see it. There, is that visible enough? You can probably tell how the pieces have to be sewn together already, but the book does give you very good instructions. So A1 to A2, and then put A3 on it, or put A3 and 4 together, and then sew them in it. Yada yada yada. Hang on. Let me get to the page, and I'll kind of show you. Actually, I think oval even has sapphire as an example. Okay, no, maybe not. Oh, yeah, it does. No, March. Okay, no. Okay. That's what an oval block looks like. This is the aquamarine color. Sorry, there's glare from the paper shiny. I don't know if you guys can see, but all around, I showed this on the other video too, all around this block is white background, like borders kind of on the block. Me and my sister are not doing that. We're only using the background that is part of making the actual block. So that's why I have black up there on the one I just showed you, because some of it's like black's right there. Okay, let me go get my little piece of marine and put that on there, and we'll carry on. Before I add this next piece, number 3, on here, oh, sorry, I didn't change the laptop. Hang on, guys, one sec. I'm just trimming off some of the extra so I don't have huge bulk and I can see better where the next piece goes. Hold on. So, let's see. I need to go between. Sometimes I mark myself with a pin going through the paper so I know where to center the piece that I'm doing next, especially if it's a small piece kind of on the inside part of the block, just so I don't line it up weird. Okay. One sec. I'll show you. Okay. Oh, my chair went all messed up. Okay. Piece 3 is kind of a little piece, and I wanted to orient it properly. So that's why I stuck 2 pins through the paper. So my piece of marine for the next piece is plenty of room on either side of those 2 pins. And then I know I have seam allowance and we're all dandy. Now put it down hard on there. Take the pins out so I don't do anything to them. Hold it down and sew. And I have an 80-12 needle in my machine, and my stitch length is 1.5. Okay, flip it over. Perfect. Okay, now, before I forget again, let's scoot you over this way so you get long view, as it were. Get my exercise this way. Oops, I need the big one. See, Joe, sometimes I have little trimmings like this. Little bitty, bitty, bitty. That's not a scrap, that's a little bit. There. There we go. Okay, what's piece 4? Background. All right, here we go. Oh, it's tiny. I don't know why they have these tiny little... Whatever. I cannot imagine doing these blocks small, because my sister and I, we wanted to make a certain size, and the book tells you how much to blow up or photocopy bigger. The patterns, they're all in the back of the book. So most of these ones we're doing, this one in particular, is copied at 150%. So I'll show you what I mean in a second, because there's a tiny little piece on here. How the heck you would do this for a smaller block, I don't know. It'd be like minuscule. Anyway, just a second, I'll show you. So, piece of black that's itty bitty. One of these will probably do. Right there and right there. Okay. Okay, let me sew the seam and I'll show you what I mean. Oh, Deb accidentally hit the mute button. I do that too. I just, like, why is everyone quiet all the time? And I did it with Laura Lynn the other day. I'm like, oh man, this isn't working again. Oh, shoot. Yeah. Okay, one sec. Let me sew this tiny little seam and I'll show you. Let me just back stitch right there just to be sure. Okay, there we go. See that tiny little seam? It is maybe half an inch long. And this is photocopied 150%. So how are you supposed to do this little piece smaller? I have no idea. All right, that was almost exactly a 1/4 inch right there. Minimal trimming. So this is, obviously you just kind of press where you did the seam. And since I'm doing solids, it doesn't matter particularly right side or wrong side, but for this black, it is a pattern. So, and I got a thread here. What the heck's going on? Come on. And so just make sure when you're lining everything up, you put what you've already done down onto that piece with the right side of the nice side facing up, and then you'll get it right all the time. Okay, and the next piece is also black, but I don't think that piece I've got over there is big enough. So we're going to have to cut another piece off. And this is one of those weird angle pieces. I've had a few of those with the wolf where I've had to have a great big piece just so that the angle's right when you flip it back over. Oh, the piece of fabric you require to cover the piece on the pattern is not that big. It's just such a crazy angle that when you fold it, it'll be wrong unless you have a big piece of fabric. Yeah, that's a challenge a bit, but there's no way around it. You just have to do it. So I'm going to plunk my whole work sitting on top of my black strip here and fold that out of the way and cut off a big piece so I don't swear later. Okay, let's get this mess out of the way here. My little bits out of the way. Okay, looking at the pattern. Okay, I'll try and show you what I was talking about. This last piece, okay, the seam goes along here, but there's so much fabric over here that you have to cover. Like, see, there's pattern all the way out here. The edge of the pieces is that little small dot for the 150% copy. That's why there's several different lines on here. Depends how big it makes what is the edge of your seam allowance. So I've got a big piece here because, hang on, let me just fold that down. Put this on here like that. And I've had to orient my piece, my chunk, over to this side and have lots of extra on this side. Because when I flip it up, the piece of pattern is way over here. So I have to have the black fabric past that. Otherwise, it'll flip it up and get cut off right there and I won't have a seam allowance. This is what I mean about a great big piece. Ah, there. If you got a goofy angle, the piece has to be bigger than usual. Okay. There we go. Okay. So the seam I just sewed is 3 inches-ish. But the pattern piece I have to cover is more like 5.5 inches long. Oh. Excuse me, sorry. Ugh. Now the mic picks up me coughing. That was good. All right. Come on. There we go. Okay. Wait a minute here. There, that's better. Okay. Piece B1 is good to go. What I was doing with the other pieces, here, let me scoot this around a bit. I did a basting stitch around them. I've been doing that for the wolf pieces too. Next week, my sister and I, she's coming out with her sewing machine, and we're going to have a work day together, and I'll show her what to do. Hopefully the weather will hold. We've got a cold snap going. It's not super cold. It's like -2 or something Celsius. There is a possibility next week that we might get a bit of snow, but it sort of depends how the weather systems work and timing and everything. And she lives closer to Vancouver than I do, but in between there's an area in the farms that's windy all the time. Summer, winter, doesn't matter. It's always windy there. And if there's a bit of snow, then if it's dry enough, it just blows everywhere. And visibility is like, and my sister won't drive out here in that. I don't want her to. It's not safe. So we'll see. But in the meantime, I don't know how long these pieces have to be sitting on my design wall. That's why I've been going around them with a basting stitch. So I'm going to put this up to 3. And here, I'll try and show you. I don't know if you can see the very tiny dots. Hang on. There we go. The very tiny dots are the edge of the seam allowance for the 150% photocopies. So just inside of that is like a dash dot line. I have been doing my basting stitching just on the inside part of that dash dot line, just to hold everything in place. And then I trim it like I showed you up there. That way it's tidy, but nothing's going to fray or unravel or whatever. Next week, as my sister and I make these, we can just make them, put them aside, and then if we have enough, as we have enough, we can sew them together. I probably won't worry about basting then, but for it to be sitting around for a bit, yeah. So, okay, let's pay attention to chat for a bit now. All right. Oh, hi, D Taurus. Sorry, D. Can't read. Yes, Laura, you had hip surgery? No. Sorry, can't remember. Oh, Deb says she blames Lisa. I can't get a word in edgewise. Yeah, awkward quilter Georgia. Yeah, she's chatty. Oh, Mama J and Andrea says it can be done. I just finished 6-inch blocks that had tiny pieces. When I was doing that community quilt, Andrea, the little people in the border had little tiny pieces. And I was fed up by the time I did them. So it's a good thing my sister and I are making these a little bit bigger. Uh, Good. Laura says she's getting a little bit better. Yeah, I think you mentioned that in someone's chat recently. Laura Lynn's maybe. D Torres. Hi everyone. Morning D. Laura, yes, Monday morning. Tried to push it yesterday. Yeah, no, not a good idea. Be careful. Be careful. Laura's trying to remember one day at a time, but I'm not used to being down. Yeah, I know. We do everything all the time, right? And then you can't just sit and do nothing. I hear ya. Deb says she's been through 2 back surgeries and you need the time. Yep. Sitting still can be hard, Charlotte, for sure. For sure. I had to park my bum for a little while when I got my knee fixed up 2 years ago. It was pretty quick though, thankfully, but still. Like, I wanted, you guys know me. I'm busy all the time. I do stuff. Like sitting, yeah. And my husband was getting mad at me. Don't, because I wanted to like limp up, limp over and like do dishes or something. And he's like, no, just sit there, just do it. Allison warmed up last night's dinner for breakfast and enjoying that. Oh, Andrea is famous for loving tiny pieces. I don't mind smaller, but I don't like little. There's barely any seam allowance. Like what the heck? Anyway. Allison, yesterday I made banana loaf. Way back when I put that on my channel. I make it in a big bundt pan. I found a recipe and doubled it and tried it ages ago and it worked perfectly. So when I get 6 or 7 bananas in the freezer, then I make some loaf. Our daughter was over last night for dinner because she was doing things with her car and her dad had to go and pick her up and whatever. So she just dined with us. So she took a big chunk home. Our son's coming over tonight because my husband and my son watch some sci-fi thing that I don't watch, and today's the last day of it. So we've been feeding him every Friday. Oh, okay, Joyce. Gotta have a phone call. See ya. Thanks for coming in. Allison says nice. It's a really easy recipe. Really easy. And I put a package of, I don't think you have Score bars in the US. You have, hang on, they're those little crunchy thin toffee with chocolate. Heath, is that what they're called? It's a thin bar and then there's chocolate on it. Well, I think it's the Chippets brand. Anyway, you know the bag of chocolate chips, right? Or peanut butter chips or whatever. You can get a bag of the Score bits that are just the little toffee bits to put in stuff, cookies and whatnot, whatever. So I cracked open. My husband always puts them in his shortbread, and he bought 2 bags and only used one. So I'm like, oh, there's a bag of Score bits in the cupboard. So I put that in the banana loaf. Num. Oh, Allison says we do have Score and Heath. Yeah, I think they're kind of similar, aren't they? Yes, Heath bars. Yeah, I thought so. I think I've bought one before when I've been in the States. Oh, now speaking of which, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I've been complaining on various people's chats about my subscribers going down. Has anyone else noticed this? I think YouTube's screwing around again. So if you're supposed to be subscribed to me, just check, make sure you still are. I mean, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I get that. People can leave, whatever. I just do this for fun. But I think there's been techie glitchy things going on again, and I'm like, what the heck? I mean, I go up and down a little bit, but I don't usually lose 10 subscribers in a month. That's weird. Anywho, just so you know. So everybody do that. Just check because a couple of other people have said the same thing's been happening to them. Allison says, I'm not sure we have Score bits. I'd put them in my mincer and make them bits. Yeah, you could probably chop them up easily enough. But here in the grocery stores, like anywhere you go, in the baking section where they have all that stuff, chocolate chips, etc., they're all there in the bag, like what? Yay big? Yeah, see, Allison says, right after Christmas, I lost 10 or so at well. Yeah, and Joe says hers go up and down. Yeah, I guess it's just, I don't know, YouTube's having a problem. Anyway, so I put my stitch up to 3 from 1.5. And now I'm going to go around and I'll show you what it looks like. At the moment I'm stitching with blue thread. Not that it really matters. I don't think you really have to match your fabric and your thread. I'm probably going to use cream from now on. But I happen to have blue Orfill, so I'm using it. I want to show you something else coming up. It just made me think about the black fabric. My sister and I were hoping to start with our parents' blocks, which are going to be round and bigger, photocopied at 200%. We didn't get the fabric because we couldn't find the greens we like. Because the green for emerald in the book, bleh, it's like lime green. That's not emerald. So we were trying to find 5 Konas we liked, and then I went over to a local quilt store to try to find 5 Bellas. Well, they didn't have any, but I looked at they got a Bella swatch thing. I looked at it and told my sister, so she's going to go to another store that sells them and try to find green for emerald. My dad's birthday was last week, so we have garnet. So the place we were at had 4 of the fabrics. They were missing 1. And what we did to choose, we took the bolts out and laid them out. Okay, light, medium, medium, dark, and laid them out so we could tell the gradation of tone, like that we liked it. So we have everything but mom and dad's, and missing my husband because his birthday is in December, and we don't have the. We kind of decided on the colors, but most of it. See, that's the other thing in the book is the author Andrea Allison, whatever her name was, just use the same colors as you used for aquamarine. No, my sister and I have birthdays in March. We are aquamarine. We know what aquamarine looks like, and it is not like December's blue topaz. It's not the same color. So if you get the book, just be warned. My niece's birthday is at the end of June. So my sister and I just picked some sort of pinkish, plummy kind of purples. Because Alexandrite can be anything. It can be like dark purpley black. It looks different in regular light and ultraviolet light. So we just went, those ones look good. And we wanted to compare them to the amethyst ones for my son and not have them the same. Because we like the amethyst colors in the book. We picked out those 5. Yeah, they look great. So we went on the pinkier side for my niece just so they weren't the same. Exactly the same. So, okay, there's what the basting stitch looks like on the back. And if you can see where I put it just near that dot dash edge. So now what I'm going to do is trim it to the small dots. So I've been putting my ruler right on the edge of that dark black line. That's the edge of the piece. So I put my 1/4 inch line on there, and sure enough, the 1/4 inch comes out at the little small dot line. It's perfect. Just make sure when you're photocopying you do the test square, because they give you 1-inch test squares on all of these pattern pieces. Just make sure it's good. I mean, or at least consistent across as you're printing. Okay, put that up there because I got to get out my big ruler for that. I'll put my pins away. So let me show you this one thing because it's from my brother-in-law. He's got an April birthday. Okay, here. See, this is actually what we're going to do. And that's a diamond. Hold on, where are we here? There, diamond. And that's a princess block, princess cut gem. So in my very rough, goofy drawing, we're going to do 2 cornerstones, one of this diamond and one of the blue topaz for my husband. And the other 2 cornerstones for the quilt are 2 cushion pattern aquamarine from my sister and I. But if you can see that there, the very lightest color is white, and the very darkest color is black. And there's 3 grays in between. So knowing we were going to use solid black, not that there's much of it, obviously, you can see that, we didn't want to use solid black as the background. We wanted to have that little pattern. That's kind of why. Make sense? Hello, Deborah Holdman. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Enid. Itching for stitching. Yeah, brownish purple is June. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Allison is like, there's so many different colors of aquamarine. We just kind of went. I looked it up online, like what color is aquamarine, and there was like 15 different ones. I'm like, whatever, we're just going to pick something. And also it depends on the cut of the stone. It makes the color look different. It just, yeah, it kind of runs the gamut, really. Allison says sea, foam, aqua. Yeah, yeah. And Joe says her watch hours go crazy, too. Oh. I haven't even looked at my watch hours, and I better hope that's okay. Oh, and Laura says she had a few subscriptions that were missing. I had to go back and subscribe to them. See, I think that's what's happening. I think it's just glitchy. Thank you, Debbie. I think when all is said and done, the quilt will turn out nice. My sister and I think our idea is going to work. Just have to execute it now. So we'll get there. I'm going to do another video for you guys about like sort of making the blocks, and we're sewing them together because this is how we want it to go. And I don't know if my sister wants to appear on camera or not. So if she comes out next week, I might film us, but I don't want to. If she doesn't want to, then I won't. I'll just, put you on fast mode and do a little bit of me, more of this, right? And that'll be part of it. And then I might film what we accomplished. Hopefully we accomplish something. If you just sit down and just do it, it actually goes pretty quick. Sew the seam, trim off the flappy bit, press it open. Put the next seam, trim, press. Next seam, trim, press. It's just, you kind of get a rhythm going, right? Oh, hang on. Somebody said something about Heath bits. D. Torres says, I've used the Heath English toffee bits. They're really good. I'm making snickerdoodles right now with cinnamon sugar coating. Ooh, nummy. Nummy. Enid Stitching for Stitching says, I think it's more people get banned, leave YouTube, decide they want to unsubscribe. I've lost for sure and never came back. She has a mystery downvoter, just one. I'm trying to decide who it is. That's weird. Deborah Holdman is going to start an FPP project in February. Ooh, Deborah, do tell. What is it? Obviously, I'm on a paper piecing kick now between the wolf and this, but that's okay. Just more of the same. Just over the weekend, as I have time, I will carry on with this. I have to do 3 more pieces of B, and then I have to do 4 pieces of C, and then I have to do 4 pieces of D. And I'll put them all up on the wall. I probably won't sew them together. I'll just make them, base the edge and trim it, and just sit them on the wall. And then I can show my sister what the assembled pieces look like, and then we have to sew them together. In that part, the book is helpful. It is very specific. Do this, 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 this in this order, and you will have it good. The only one that doesn't come out like a 4-patch, essentially, is the teardrop. It's in 2 halves, but same thing. Oh, Minions. Ooh, Deb, you have to show that around everywhere. Enid, no, I do not do English paper piecing. I try to do as little by hand as possible, especially now that I got back into cross stitch. That's more than enough stuff by hand. And generally, I'm not a fan of things that are fiddly. And to me, English paper piecing looks nothing but fiddly. Just saying. I feel like I should have another coffee, but I've already had 2 today, so I think that's sufficient. I'm feeling kind of... Alright, I want to probably call this pretty soon, because I got to go do some work for my husband, too. He works from home, he has his business, and I'm the book lady, so I got to do a few things for that. Yes, you're correct, Deborah Holdman. Sylvia makes awesome patterns from pictures. You and Me FPP is her channel. Go check her out if you don't already. She's in the UK. We at now? Yeah, 9. Oh, you're at 9:30? Oh, 9:20. Okay, that went quick. Enid is having a wicked winter storm arriving this afternoon. Might get a foot of snow over the whole weekend, but I doubt it. Going to be very cold. Lows in the negative Fahrenheit. That's cold. You live in Colorado, right, Enid? Oh, and she's done English paper piecing and kind of enjoyed. Yeah, lots of people do. It's just not my thing. Doesn't appeal to me at all. We're supposed to have highs of like 5 Celsius. Like it's this morning it was -2 at when we got up at 7 o'clock. But the sun's shining. It's gonna be a beautiful day. It's supposed to be cool and clear for like the next 5 days or so. It's Wednesday, Thursday when everything changes, and more than likely it will warm up enough to actually be rain and not snow. Because maybe the low will be like +2 instead of -2. It just sort of depends how the 2 weather systems combine. That's how we usually get snow around here. If the onshore moist system doesn't back off quickly enough before any cold air comes from the east, they mix together and we have snow. But usually the 2 of them don't. Like usually when the cold air comes, it's a higher pressure and it's stronger, so it shoves the moist air back onto the ocean. We just don't get it. We'll get cold, but that's all. But -2 is not that cold. Put on a warm jacket, maybe some gloves, you're good. Yes, I thought you said you're originally from BC, and right. And Deborah Holdman, we are going to be in single digits next week. Yep, it's January. Now, just east of me is where the mountains start in BC. It's just here that doesn't get much. As soon as you hit mountains, boom, snow. Like, they're just higher up. It's almost the entire province is covered in mountains, and there's snow everywhere. But Greater Vancouver and the Fraser Valley, not so much. We have not actually had any snow yet. No, I lie. Our friends came over the beginning of just January, and we were sitting in the hot tub, and it was faint, like it was a half and half. Like it was more like thick rain, sort of. Like you could just kind of see it, but it didn't do anything. It just sort of fell and melted. But it was kind of nice to sit in the hot tub for a little bit and watch this. Oh, that's snow. Oh, a little bit. Yeah. Oh, it. But that's it. No, nothing. Nothing so far. That is a bit odd. We usually have one snow day, maybe two by now. Makes me worried about February. Actually, my son's birthday is the 13th of February. I don't know how many times we've had snow on his birthday. Weird. Don't get any snow at all. Nothing December, nothing January. No, middle of February. What's up with that? So that's probably what'll happen. Okay. Good grief, Andrea. She says we are supposed to get ice and snow clear down here in the Houston area. Yeah. There's some. I think that big cold system is extending like most of Western North America at the moment. Oh, Nina says it's going to be windy. Yuck. Yeah, that makes visibility. Enid says I used to snowshoe in the mountains around Vancouver a long time ago. And they get some nice snow dumps in March here. Yeah, not usually. Sometimes the very beginning of March there's a little bit, but that's very infrequent. Usually just raining. You know what it's like here, Enid. You lived here. You know what BC's like. Okay, girls, I gotta go. 9:25. I gotta get cracking for my hubby. Let's unplug this. I guess I should charge my microphone before next time. So I'm glad this worked. Yay! Good Christmas present. All right, everybody. Yes, Debbie, we have had snowless winters. Like absolutely nothing. You are correct. It does happen sometimes. Who knows? My husband bought a snow blower just because sometimes we get a larger amount and you can't really shovel it. Well, he usually gets to play with it once per winter. You know, he does the driveway and then he goes out in the road and he does the neighbors down the street. They're a bit more elderly and they can't get out. So he just runs around the neighborhood playing with the snowblower. And he's happy. And then the next day it rains and the snow goes away and it's all good. But he hasn't, it's sitting in the garage. It hasn't been out yet. We'll see. Have a great day, all. See you all around. I'm sure I'll catch you on someone's live on the weekend. I know Laura Lynn's going early tomorrow because I got to get cracking for heading off to California. Have fun with that, everybody. I hope to see video. Take care. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks for the end of January doing something. Project to be determined. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I'll go put that link in for the book in a little bit once this